Can you imagine trying to please Kindiki, Gachagua, Ruto, Raila,
and then
Uhuru at the same time.
Five
the
people.
big five.
Yeah, the big five, yeah.
So pleasing the big five is what is confusing this. So when you listen to Mbadi, it is not Mbadi speaking. There's something he has drunk. He has drunk the alcohol. Let's say that Uhuru is Jack Daniel, Sivio. Alafu Ruto is Johnny Walker. then Raila Odinga is Kibao. And then Gachagua is Muratina. When you have all these things in your stomach, you are not the one speaking. So when you want to please too many people, you get in trouble. That's why I'm praying. And help me pray. I went on Twitter and I said that I have 1,000 reasons why Raila need to go to AU. Because when Raila announced I'm going to AU, but he's still on the stage, he's the one bringing the confusion. Because Raila Odinga, if Raila Odinga breathes, everybody catches a cough and a cold. Some of them even get COVID, isn't it? So let us take Raila Odinga to AU with prayer, with lobbying, with everything. Because when Raila goes to AU and becomes very busy up there, then the bosses are fewer, isn't it? I'm also hearing Mara Uhuru Kenyatta wants to shake hands with, I don't know, Ruto. So after he has gone, and Uhuru eventually aligns with, I don't know, Ruto, there'll be a bit of some decorum. But for now, you are trying to ensure Raila Odinga is not in bad books. Because if you joke Raila Odinga, you see what Gachagua did, isn't it?
The other time you said that he doesn't speak.
Yes, you just see it.
You just see it.
Yeah, so Raila Odinga has to go to AU for even to clear our name. But even to bring clarity and decorum in national politics in the domestic space. It's good for all of us if Raila goes there, even for our political future. Some people think Raila stay in politics
will benefit, or maybe it's going to help us.
Even for Gen Z, let Raila go. When Raila is gone, you have space. But Raila being around, he looks like COVID that chokes the economy. It's like a lockdown. You know, Nyanza is in lockdown.
Because of Raila.
Nairobi is in lockdown. If Babu Wino makes noise in Embakasi, he discovered there's a lockdown. There's curfew. So Raila is a curfew, is a COVID, is a lockdown. You cannot. Even those who do not like Raila do not like you complaining about Raila. So just let Baba be Baba. No one will ever be Baba. In fact, there's no one who will break his record. So this record can only be broken when he goes to AU. So
when a child is born, the first thing that a child needs to do, or the people that are helping the mother to give birth, must make sure that this child makes noise. That is one thing that needs to be done. Now, what happens if this child doesn't make noise?
Normally they beat the child up or they pour cold water on them, especially because that will is a sign the child is breathing. Because you have to gasp the first breath. In fact, that's a critical moment. If you don't grasp the first breath, you die. So because you're moving from your mother's womb where you are breathing through the umbilical cord. But now you are coming where your nose has to breathe in and out. And immediately, remember, if you don't breathe for 1 minute, your brain is half dead. Get me? 4 minutes, your brain dies. And once your brain has died, you are dead.
You're dead.
So, you know, between when the child is born and when they need to breathe and make that cry, is critical. That's why that is always a moment where everything stops for that moment.
So the reason why this child must cry
is to live.
Is to prove that he's alive. And then the people that are helping the mother must make sure that this child at least makes noise.
To prove that he's crying. That's why we say resisting change is like resisting to breathe. If you succeed, you die. So if I tell you now that 2027, Kenya is going to be so different, and you resist that, It's like you hold your breath, You don't want to breathe, you die. So that child is forced to not hold the breath, but release the breath. And when they release, they cry because that's when they welcome the environment. Yes.
Now, John Mbadi, Opio and I,
yes,
they were the experts that were given by opposition leader to come and help the government. They are the experts.
Yeah.
And recently, it was on the day that William Ruto was cancelling the deal of Adani. In the morning, Opio and I said that despite United States of America accusing Adani of fraud, enacting all those things, it will not prevent them from continuing with the project that with the plan with Kenya, because there is nowhere that Kenya is involved in this. And then all of a sudden, the president goes to parliament. And then what the president does, cancels the deal. After cancelling the deal, immediately after the president has left, John Mbadi is asked questions. And what did John Mbadi say? So all these things are coming simply because these people are trying to, I don't know whether they're trying to protect Adani. And then yesterday, John Mbadi made a statement and said that, why are you so much furious about this issue of Adani? Now, if the president speaks, John Mbadi have spoken. Let us not meddle in these things. So why is it that these people are really defending Adani thing? Because even the US leaked in one of their letters that the beneficiaries of Adani are the Minister of Transport, the Treasury, the Treasury, and other ministers. So what do you think? Why is it that these people are the ones that are really defending this Adani thing? Bearing in mind that the people that were holding offices right now are nowhere to be seen.
First of all, let me tell you, before I even go to answer your question directly, we have to put text to the context.
Okay. Put text to the context.
Yes.
Okay, put it.
Yeah, when Raila Odinga announced one word, I'm going to AU, this country had changed forever, but some people did not see the change. So they are still living as if Raila has not made that announcement. The Kenyan political and economic environment changed forever. And people who have accepted it, like, no, when Raila Odinga announced that, me had seen it coming. That's why you saw me going to talk to the Luo Council of Elders, blah, blah. And even
you are preparing yourself.
I was preparing myself for this change because it was going to come. So when Raila Odinga pronounced that thing, the country changed. So one thing that is going to make Mbadi, Opio Wandai, and Oparanya suffer for the rest of the time they are called the team of experts.
Because Joe is working.
Is that they are having four kind of people they want to please. You know, when you want to please Raila Odinga, because who nominated his name? Raila Odinga. Who appointed? Ruto. And Raila Odinga and John Mbadi Raila Odinga and Ruto have been in different stages of Adani deal differently. There's a time when Raila said Adani was bad, and then he said Adani is good. Then Ruto comes down to say it's bad. Remember, both Raila Odinga and William Ruto have said at different stages that Adani is good, then bad. Then bad, then good. So this confusion is meant to affect you. You know, when your boss is confused, you also absorb the confusion. So the Raila Odinga had said Adani was bad, was supposed to be rejected, isn't it? Then he said it's now good. So how do you respond if Raila Odinga is your boss?
Of course, you'll have to please him.
And then Ruto, who was saying it is good, has now said it is bad.
Obviously,
but Raila has not said after that he has remained it is good. You understand? Now, some of these people were working under Uhuru Kenyatta, because when Mbadi was in ODM and Azimio, Uhuru Kenyatta is the chairperson of Azimio. So they have to look like they are with this person, isn't it? Kindiki has been in Kenya Kwanza. During Mandamano, he was tear-gassing Raila, tear-gassing Wakina Mbadi, tear-gassing Wakina Oparanya. In fact, there's a time when Kindiki cancelled a police notice that was issued by Oparanya. That Oparanya cannot do Mandamano in the CBD. I think you remember those things. So, but now they have to please Kindiki. Then some of them were actually pleasing, were trying to please Gachagua. Can you imagine trying to please Kindiki, Gachagua, Ruto, Raila,
and then
Uhuru at the same time. The big five.
The big five. So
pleasing the big five is what is confusing this. So when you listen to Mbadi, it is not Mbadi speaking. There's something he has drunk. He has drunk the alcohol. Let's say that Uhuru is Jack Daniel, Sivio. Alafu Ruto is Johnny Walker. then Raila Odinga is Kibao. And then Gachoka is Muratina. When you have all these things in your stomach, you are not the one speaking. So when you want to please too many people, you get in trouble. That's why I'm praying. And help me pray. I went on Twitter and I said that I have 1,000 reasons why Raila need to go to AU. Because when Raila announced I'm going to AU, but he's still on the stage, he's the one bringing the confusion. Because Raila Odinga, if Raila Odinga breathes, everybody catches a cough and a cold. Some of them even get COVID, isn't it? So let us take Raila Odinga to AU with prayer, with lobbying, with everything. Because when Raila goes to AU and becomes very busy up there, then the bosses are fewer, isn't it? I'm also hearing Mara Uhuru Kenyatta wants to shake hands with, I don't know, Ruto. So after he has gone, and Uhuru eventually aligns with, I don't know, Ruto, there'll be a bit of some decorum. But for now, you are trying to ensure Raila Odinga is not in bad books. Because if you joke Raila Odinga, you see what Gachagua did, isn't it?
The other time you said that he doesn't speak.
Yes, you just see it.
You just see it.
Yeah, so Raila Odinga has to go to AU for even to clear our name. But even to bring clarity and decorum in national politics in the domestic space. It's good for all of us if Raila goes there, even for our political future. Some people think Raila stay in politics
will benefit, or maybe it's going to help us.
Even for Gen Z, let Raila go. When Raila is gone, you have space. But Raila being around, he looks like COVID that chokes the economy. It's like a lockdown. You know, Nyanza is in lockdown. Because of Raila. Nairobi is in lockdown. If Babu Wino makes noise in Embakasi, he discovered there's a lockdown. There's curfew. So Raila is a curfew, is a COVID, is a lockdown. You cannot. Even those who do not like Raila do not like you complaining about Raila. So just let Baba be Baba. No one will ever be Baba. In fact, there's no one who will break his record. So this record can only be broken when he goes to AU. So for that matter, the confusion is taking place. The confusion is taking place here a lot. Then secondly, Mbadi is not the Mbadi who used to be a brilliant MP when he was the minority leader. Mbadi has lost a lot of credibility because he does not speak for, he speaks like government. Like you heard when he was being asked, what do you make of the president's statement? He was told that the president speaks for the government. So what else are you asking? All of us should be there. But the question should be asked about Mbadi. And this question should be answered by all ODM people. Are you in government? Because you cannot be in government when in the morning, Adani is good. In the afternoon is bad. In the afternoon, when your boss says Adani is bad, you clap. And I saw them clapping and they stood up. They clapped. You saw in the speakers gallery, the ministers were there. They stood up and clapped for him. Even Opiyo Wandayi, even Mbadi, who opposed the deal in the morning. You know, a sin is a sin. No, if you commit a sin in the US, let's say you do fornication in the US, can you say that when you're in Kenya now, you're not fornicated? No, you are. You are a fornicator. You are a fornicator. That's why even our Father says, as it happens on earth, it happens is in heaven. In heaven. So ukifanya dhambi hapa, hata huko na ukisamehewa hapa. That's why Jesus said, I give you powers to forgive sins. And what you are forgiven here on earth shall be forgiven is forgiven on heaven. So Adani is a sinner in the US, therefore in Kenya also. And even if Adani does not confess his sins in Kenya and the US, he's a sinner in heaven. So he might not see heaven if he doesn't confess. So according to us, a sin is a sin. The place does not change the sin. Saibon, let's say you are a married man. You go to the US and you cheat, isn't it? Can you tell your wife that I cheated in the US but not in Kenya? You are a cheat. You are a cheat, isn't it? That's why you can be deported from the US to be brought in Kenya to answer the charges in Kenya. In Kenya. So I don't understand this legal thinking of a lawmaker like Mbadi after being an MP for that long if you don't get this. But I said, it is not him speaking. He has drinking a concoction. That concoction. Of five. 5 different big boys. Adani, Amarula, Sweet Nini, Ketrako. Ukisha kunya hiyo tumbo imeharibika na kichwa pia because the stomach is the source of everything. Have you heard sometimes when you have a headache, you can even feel your stomach is also rambling a little bit, or sometimes stomach rumble, then later you have malaria. So there's a connection between what you take and what you think.
What you think.
So Mbadi is not speaking. It is something else he has taken that is speaking. But according to me, Mbadi needs to explain the following. When he said that they were just a due diligence and they didn't have a contract, then what was cancelled?
Yeah.
And if at all it was not cancelled, what did the president launch in Nakuru, which cost us 100 billion shillings? No presidential function like that costs 100 billion. The president need to fly in, isn't it? People have to be mobilized because nowadays what watakangi yo mkutano.
Yeah, the deal makers.
Yeah, they have to be given. No, the people in the crowd.
The people in the crowd.
You must give money.
Yeah.
Do you think Nakuru people will come to listen to you if you don't give them money?
They can't.
The media.
They can't.
There was a red carpet. The presidential jet has to fly. 60 vehicles to pick him. Every minister was being picked with 7 vehicles each, Land Cruisers, isn't it? Governors came there. There were singers, there was entertainment. Adani people also flew in. There was some luncheon. That's 100 million in card on the launch. But also this thing had cost Kenya so much money. One, due diligence. They went to India. The president also visited India on 23rd of December last year, 2023. That the presidential visit to India, do you know what? When the president goes out of the country, if it's a small amount of money, it's 200 million. 200
million.
Isn't it? But he went with so many people who are earning per diem, allowances, their flight tickets. So almost a B down, isn't it? National Assembly. Those committee meetings to integrate Adani, it cost money. Apart from that, court. Adani has been taken to court by so many civil society organizations. They had to bring batteries or lawyers to defend Adani in court. That one, mark my word, around 200 million. If Sakaja just county government spent 1 billion shillings in legal fees last year, what about the Attorney General in the Adani case? Yeah. Thirdly, do you know in JKIA for the 10 days there were strikes, planes were not landing and taking off, isn't it? And there was no taxis parking there. And JKIA earns 320 million shillings in revenue per day when the airport is fully operational. So for 10 days, that is 3.82 billion
that we lost.
So when people are saying we have lost nothing, they are cheating you, man. We have lost money. So I did all my maths and everything. I don't want to explain here. 36.5 B minimum
gone, has
already been lost. Either directly
or indirectly.
But also if you add something called reputational loss. You know, Bon, if I see you walking with a bang, someone who smokes bang, isn't it? Most likely you know how it smells, isn't it? And also maybe you smoke it. If I see you walking with a criminal, they say, tell me your friends, I'll tell you who you are, isn't it? When you look like a duck, walk like a duck, shout like a duck, walk next to a duck, you're a duck.
You're a duck.
So if Adani went to bed with Kenya, Kenya looks like Adani. Adani looks like Kenya. I even see graphics showing JKIA staff putting on Adani uniform, isn't it? So already reputation of Kenya has been brought down because there are investors who want to come to Kenya. And when they see us going to bed with Adani, they believe that we are corrupt because Adani has been bribing people in the US and everywhere. And you saw the Americans talk about the beneficiaries. So I'm thinking that it's a time to clean up. And I want to urge Mr. President, please do us the following. Look for an independent audit firm like PwC, Deloitte, KPMG, or EY to audit this Adani, to tell us, did we spend money? How much did you spend? Who spent it? How do we recover it? What went wrong? Who took us there? And if there is somebody who took us there, they should go home. Because the president is saying that he is going to, he has cancelled Adani, but welcome other partners. To come. But the people who took us there are still there. There's no change. They will still take us there. If a team cannot win a trophy, why just continue with the same team?
Change the name of the team and use the same
like for
players.
example, Bon, you are not yet married, but when you get married and your wife says you are cheating, if they say you are cheating with grace, don't tell your wife, I have stopped cheating with grace, isn't it? But now you can cheat with Millicent. What needs to I have stopped cheating.
I've stopped.
So William Ruto was supposed to say, we have dropped the issue of acquisition of the airport. Whether it is Adani or any other partner, we stop it. That could have been a good thing. And ask Mr. President, you still have the powers. You're the commander-in-chief. You're the head of state. You can still say that there is no more acquisition of Kenyan airports. You understand? That will clear the air completely. By the way, Bon, if your wife was to leave you now, isn't it? Immediately you can say, now my wife has left me, let me look for another woman. No. You can say, hey, let me rest first of all from marriage.
You have to give it a thought.
You have to give it a thought. You can't just jump to another marriage again immediately. You have to give it a thought and stay away from marriage for some time. So according to me, let me propose a solution to the president. As an economist and governance expert, this is very simple. We do not need anybody to acquire the airport. What you need to do is get a strategic investor to invest 25% of that 240 billion shillings. Then let us do initial offer, IPO, so that Kenyans can buy shares of KAA, Kenya Airports Authority, and that can raise 25% again of the 240 billion. So the remaining 120 billion, we can actually generate that money from our own source revenue, because JKIA makes a net profit of 18 billion shillings a year. For 30 years, that is 540 billion, meaning that we can actually get some loan debt to service half of the 120 and the other 60 comes from our own source, and we don't have to get someone acquiring our airport and land. We don't have to auction our assets. Land, your airport is your entry point to the sky. You cannot give it somebody to run. So according to me, if the president does this, we shall love you.
But do you think he's going to do it?
Now, you see, I'm not here to think about what he's going to think, because people say I'm biased. You know, I'm now academic.
Yeah, you're. But okay, according to me, what I know, the way I know, it's going to be very difficult. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
Let me not allow you to say this. Let me say it. It's going to be very difficult even for the president now to come back again and tell us that this is what I've done. Okay, at the back of his mind, he assumes that Kenyans now knows that he has cancelled all the deals and now everything is okay. But we ourselves, we know very well that there are a lot of questions that we're still asking that we need answers. But now the people the person that's going to should answer us is the president, because he's the person who entered into this deal with Adani. Not even people like John Badi, not even people like Kopeo and I, because they're just defending their dockets.
No, but they're benefiting.
But they're benefiting.
What I know is that Bon, changing your mind doesn't mean you're stupid.
Yeah.
Even to be wrong
doesn't mean you're stupid.
Actually, being wrong is human.
Yeah.
And as a Catholic, the Seding shall say that Jesus was like man in every way, except that he didn't sin. So only Jesus did not sin. So it means all of us sinned.
We are sinners.
So if you are trying to say you cannot make a mistake, then you are not a president. You should make mistakes. You should apologize. Even Kibaki called a press conference to announce that he only has one wife. So I don't think this is a big deal. You can also call a press conference and say, I was wrong.
I was wrong.
And by the way, Kenyans will love you, because we are talking about a moral decay in the country where people need to come out and say the truth. Even Raila Odinga can also come out and clarify by saying, after deliberation, so that I can go to AU in peace, isn't it? Let me clarify that this Adani deal will not even work with AU.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Work, yeah.
Immediately Raila will become a statesman. And I'm saying he's going to say that. I can advise his advisors like Dennis Onsarigo.
People like Pauline,
isn't it?
Pauline
Joroge, isn't it? People like Alfred Getonga. People like Ben Agina. Please tell Baba. Let him just call a press conference and say, I was wrong on this. I'm with Kenya on this one. I'm going to AU and I'll ensure Adani does not do any deal in Africa. Yeah, but he will become the father of the continent, isn't it? And I'm sure his votes are going to be added. I will go and fly in one of the countries in Africa and campaign for him. I even can do mandamano. You get me?
You can decide to take Mandamano to...
Yeah, because now everybody must to clarify their position.
Yeah.
If you are with Adani, you have to stand out and now reject. So as far as I'm concerned, the president still has a chance. The president has changed his mind on the finance bill 2024. The president has changed his mind on dealing with Adani. He has to change his mind in totally isolating the issue of ever trying to bring out this issue of acquisition of airport. If the president can clarify that, 2027 will be an easier task. If not, I guess that people use Adani against him. Now Kalonzo is trying to say he's the only one who is against Adani. But because he's outside government, isn't it? So maybe this could give Kalonzo some mileage, because Kalonzo was in court with some lawyers against Adani. And now that the president has dropped Adani, the mileage Kalonzo was going to get has fizzled out, isn't it? But if he comes back with another version of Adani and call it something else, then Kalonzo will get back his credit. And Kalonzo can use this as a card against him. So lack of leaders, there's no lack of leaders. Even me, I can challenge him. But I'm saying for now, the most important thing is focus my duties as a leader. Activism is enough activists. I've been in the street for 2 years. I've mentored some people, trained some people. My strategies are being adopted by some people. Now I'm leading something called Linda Jamii. Is now being run by some other people. There's an organization I'm working with called Concerned Citizens, are being led by somebody. I've been working with the Free Kenya movement. It's being led by my friend Bob Jagi. So for me, I can now offer leadership, especially where solutions are needed, because you cannot be shouting from morning to evening that Ruto must go, and then for you are bringing no solution. And that brings us now to the whole issue about how ODM is now going to carry the burden of William Ruto in Adani, that even extends now to other problems that has been there. Remember that Raila opposed Haiti when he was in Azimio. Now, Azimio, my expert, is writing a check to Haiti in the name of John Badi. How does that look like? So Haiti will be left in the head of ODM if ODM is not careful. And also Adani will be left in the head of ODM. Ruto has now said he does not want Adani. Now, one day he comes and says, for me, he does not support Haiti. Because Trump might not actually go with the idea. Actually,
he's not might. He's not.
Trump is not going to fund. That's why Kenya is funding itself. And for John Biden to write this, people should ask him, where in the budget was Haiti put? 19.8 billion is not money that you can say is what's called it's called miscellaneous. It's not a miscellaneous expenditure. It will be substantive budget item. So when you want to, I'm looking at the budget 2023, 2024. And 2024, 2025 was Haiti put in the budget. How can you spend money which was not in the budget? In corporate governance, we say there should be zero variance to the budget. If budget was 20 billion, spend 20 billion. Not less, not more. But of course, if you spend less, maybe we're happy. But you can't spend more. So where was the 19.8 billion shillings for Haiti in the budget? MPs should go debate that. This should be debated. We don't want MPs who have been bought by the executive. MPs should oversight that and tell us where was this in the budget item. Then if Mbadi has written a check which was not supposed to be written to Haiti, let Mbadi answer the question. Let us not even talk about Ruto must go. It's only when Mbadi says the president who sent him, then we can go after the president. Now we want everybody to carry his own cross. And what Ruto is trying to do, everybody will start carrying their own crosses. Like now, Kindiki is carrying the crosses of the abductions, isn't it?
Killings.
And the killings during when the time was the Minister of Interior. You understand? Now, Gachagua is carrying only the cross of impeachment.
And correcting Ruto.
The only person who has no cross is Raila Odinga. He's going to AU. And AU is not a cross.
That one is not a cross.
No, that's a cruise.
So, Prof, your last words, your last statement, and just a 2 minutes word concerning Rigathi Gachagua's behavior, because I've noticed something that when people leave government, they start exposing the government. But while in the government, they are quiet. Your last words, maybe as well.
People know that, and people expected. In fact, some people are praying that if Gachagua leaves government, we shall know more. And of course, you had him complaining that he's being trailed a lot by security officers, isn't it? And then the government says that this is a normal practice of any ex-government official, especially at the level where he was a deputy president. So, you know, there are some many intelligence was privy to. So we want to know whom is he meeting, whom is he talking to, and what is he telling them. So that's again something that scares. Remember, one of his media person was abducted, isn't it? Unfortunately. Let's pray that he gets back to his family, because we don't want this to happen at this kind of day and time. But Rigathi Gachagua also is going to become a thorn in the flesh for William Ruto. But if he does not run, Rigathi can give that support to someone else. But him, he has a lot of questionable history, and therefore it not work. But there's something that is very critical to think about this thing. Which does Rigathi Gachagua have a political party, or now he's an activist? Because without a political party, he will be seen as someone offering activism, not political competition.
He has told us that by January they will confirm to us. He'll confirm to us what is agreeing with them.
But if his case is caught as impeached, he cannot run for any office. So later, maybe the political party may not even allow to nominate him as a party leader, because you cannot nominate a party leader someone who cannot vie. But let me say, if I summarize now as we conclude. The biggest problem we have in Kenya is incompetence. And when incompetent people are in charge, they try to insinuate that the people they are ruling are the ones who are incompetent. So you look, for example, when they can't explain anything, like even the cancellation of the thing, then they start saying, Kenyans, we are impatient. Kenyans, we are not paying our taxes as usual. Kenyans, we take everything to court. Kenyans oppose everything. Kenyans are activists. So they're trying to accuse us. They're telling us, give us more time. So what we're asking that when people are incompetent, their main goal is to ensure that you also look incompetent so that they get away with their incompetence. So that's what is the biggest problem. Now, let us be honest. The biggest overwhelming problem, not just to the national government, even to your home. Very many people are incompetent. And then they try to load over those who are competent, and they're the ones who are not incompetent. Like you see some people say, like another young man told me, oh, I can't get a job. Then I got him some chance in Juba. Then I asked him, can you send me the CV? It is 1 month. He has not sent me a CV. So how can you be looking for a job without a CV?
And he want a job?
Yes, and he has no CV.
Complaining that you can't give him a job.
Yes, I'm telling that there's a tribalism in Kenya. Kenyans are biased. Lazima ujue mtu. But you don't have a CV. I have a CV. I've been working with my CV since 2008. You don't have a ready CV, and you are saying Kenyans are tribalists. So tribalism has stopped you from preparing a CV. You see, even for example, at home, wife and husband. If the husband is competent, the wife wants to make him incompetent if the wife is incompetent. If the husband is incompetent and the wife is competent, the wife wants to make the husband, the husband wants to make the wife look incompetent. You woman, you don't know how to do homemaking. But he knows how to bring food at home. You eat, isn't it? Look for how the house can be clean. If you're the husband, you have no job. So why do you want to offload your incompetence on others? When governors are incompetent, they cannot collect money. They say national government is one delaying bringing the money. When they bring the money, don't put the money in the right place, you're corrupt. So corrupt and incompetent people try to load over those who are competent, that they are the ones who are corrupt and incompetent. Just like if you're a cheating husband, you say your wife is cheating. And if you're a cheating wife, you say your husband is cheating. So people are always projecting themselves on the mirror and try to load over others. So this should stop the blame game. Ask yourself, the only person who can change is the person in the mirror. And because I'm in the mirror, please let me know through these comments below this video what you want me to change on. I'll try my best. Thank you.
After all, guys, that is all we have for today. And until we meet again in the next video, if it is possible, I have been your host, Boniface. Prof, thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother.
Thanks for coming out.
Welcome.